tuning into our 3-part breath here. So again, we may like hands on our bellies, thumbs on our bottom ribs, and our hips towards our low belly, or our fingertips towards our hips. Legs can be bent or straight. All right, so our 3-part breath is generally described as paying attention to all phases of our breath cycle. And we can imagine that we are separating our lungs into thirds. So we have our bottom third, feeling the movement of the breath in the low belly. Our middle third, feeling the movement of the breath in the front of the bottom ribs. And then we're filling all the way to the top, feeling our lungs fill right up to the collarbones. And with our exhale, reversing that movement. So every inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Every exhale, chest, ribs, belly. And as with so many things in the wellness, yoga, fitness industry, there is some debate. Should we be breathing bottom to top, top to bottom? It's a mind-body visualization to just help us get a full, relaxed breath. So if it feels more natural to breathe chest, ribs, and then belly, totally fine. But let's bring awareness to a 3-dimensional breath moving out in all directions. So we can feel movement of the low belly, sides of the waist, imagining that we're breathing into our low backs. We can feel the rib cage expanding towards the sky, out into the underarms. We might even feel with our inhale, our upper back feels a bit heavier, pressing down more. Maybe we're aware of subtle movements of our shoulder blades with our inhale. So this is our full diaphragmatic breath, our 3-dimensional breath, our yoga breathing. It goes by many names. The length of our inhale matches our exhale, full without forcing, calm and steady. We can stay here with our gentle yoga breathing, or we can add exhaling with exertion, as we often call it in the fitness industry, or Pilates classes, or in our traditional yoga language, Uddiyana action, Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha. It has many names: belly lock, root lock, core lock. We're gonna wake up our abdominal muscles. So let's take a full 3-part breath in. And with a little bit more gusto, we'll use our abdominal muscles to push the air out. And really push in. So we're drawing our abdominal muscles down towards the floor. We should feel this under our hands, that our bellies pull away from the ceiling and down towards the floor. And if we're thinking how much exertion we're using in our abs, let's do like 100% exertion here. Full breath in, pretty calm on our inhale. Then our exhale, pull down. So we can feel that we've turned everything up to its maximum. We can add our pelvic floor lift here, or now it's been rebranded, our pelvic core. So our pelvic floor muscles are deep within our pelvis, between our pubic bone and our tailbone. Sometimes they're described as being like a hammock that holds up our internal organs. And usually we think of them as the muscles that if you were peeing and you wanted to stop peeing, there's a pulling up. So we're using our internal deep core muscles with our breath out to pull down towards the mat and to draw our pelvic core up towards our heads. So we're going to do this really strong, push the air out, and then let's take it to about 35%. I read a research paper once that said that's like the ideal amount, 35%. If that doesn't make any sense for you, okay. Imagine the lights in your room are on a dimmer switch, and we can take them up to 100% harsh bright lighting. And then we're gonna lower them down to romantic mood lighting, a bit brighter than a candlelit dinner. That's how much exertion we're using in our abs. So we're gonna hold that mood lighting or exhale with exertion 35%. We're gonna keep that containment and activation of our abs as we move through the rest of our poses. So our dynamic tension and core stability are set with that exhale with exertion. Probably now we're feeling more expansion of our rib cage because we're holding our abs in tight. So we've just used our breath to essentially do a bunch of crunches and kind of wake us up energetically while also training this mind-body union. Okay, I hope all this stuff made sense. Let's hold this core containment as we move through our warm-up. We're drawing knees to chest to set our alignment for bridge. I said I would do speed teaching. Bridge pose. Dropping our feet to the floor, lifting our hips up to the sky. This is our bridge pose. Let's move with our breath. On an inhale, we lift, and on an exhale, we lower. We may be using our hands to help lift our pelvis, or maybe we're pressing the backs of the arms and the palms down for stability. Matching breath to movement. Inhaling up, holding that core stability. Exhaling up, using our core stability and our dynamic tension to resist gravity. We can add our arms in opposition. So as our hips lower, arms reach overhead. And as our hips lift, our arms press down into the mat alongside our bodies. Maybe one more here. And then we're releasing our glutes again and knees to chest. Drawing our legs in, holding the back of our thighs, gently holding. We can rock side to side, or we can circle the knees. We might like to kind of egg beater the legs, taking each knee in its own circle. So opening the knees apart and then bringing them in together. To make our way up to our child's pose, let's do a gentle transition. We're gonna roll to one side. We can pause in what's sometimes called baby pose. Using the strength in our arms, we'll press ourselves up and walk our hands around to the front of the mat. Child's pose. We're settling our hips down and back as we keep our arms extended for extended child's. Or maybe we like our forearms down, stacking our fists, and our stacked fists catch our forehead. Child's pose, another moment of introspection and quiet. We may be more aware of the movement of our breath in the back of the body here. Our inhale can have our ribs expanding out into our underarms, and our exhale, we're just soft and gentle here. Option to return to child's at any point. Otherwise, let's make our way up to all fours for cat and cow. Establishing base, strength in our hands. We're spreading our starfish fingers out on the mat. Pressing down, not just through the heel of the hand, but our knuckles and our fingertips, our thumb tips. Pressing down through the tops of the feet to create stability in the lower body. Let's move through our cat and cow like this. So we inhale to get ready. We can still use our exhale to engage our abdominals and push the air out, but we're gonna round our backs, bringing sort of our bra line or mid back up to the sky. Our rib cage stretches to the sky. And then our hearts are stretching forward. We're still holding our abdominal strength here as we are reaching hearts forward. Care Bear stare as we stretch the heart to the front. Let's go a couple more times each way. Reaching rib cage to the sky. And then without letting our bellies droop, stretching the chest forward. So this is our spinal flexion and extension. And halfway in between is our neutral spine, coming into a flat back here. We'll do a little bit of spinal balance. Let's go like this. We're gonna tap the right fingertips forward. long line in the arm, and then we're gonna tap the left toes back, long line through the leg. So we're tuning into that core engagement as we flow through side to side. Let's bring it back through center. Maybe let's go like this. We're gonna press down through the right hand and press down through the left knee. Hopefully we feel our abs kick in. And then we're extending left fingertips out and right foot back. Let's do that again. We'll bring everything in. We're pressing down through the left hand, down through the right knee. So we're pressing down on opposites, which helps our abdominal muscles pull in. We're breathing out as we press down so we can inhale as we stretch forward. Breathe out, press down. Inhale, reach forward. We'll go once more each way. As we're coming back through center, we can settle our hips back to our heels in child's pose, maybe taking our knees wider this time. Might feel a little bit more restful. And if anyone prefers downward dog instead of child's, always an option here. We will briefly make our way to standing. So if we love our downward dog, we can go from there, pedaling out our heels. And then making our way into forward fold, walking hands and feet together. Making our way to a standing position by reversing our swan dive. If it's a bit much to reach arms overhead and we get a bit of a head rush, we can do a small range of motion, taking hands straight to heart center. From mountain, let's step back to face the long edge of our mat, coming into our wide squat or moonflower prep. Inhaling up and out into a 5-pointed star. Exhaling, lowering into our squat. We're taking our bodies straight down like we're in an elevator. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Bringing a little bit of warmth, feeling out the range of motion in our hips and shoulders here. Option for sunflowers might feel more like a deadlift, or maybe more like our happy baby legs. We're hinging our hips forward, we're bending our knees, and we're lowering our bodies into, again, a neutral spine. So if we've got a lot of deadlifters in the room, then we probably know this kind of movement, like a wide squat. And that can feel quite nice sometimes to really press the hips back and get more stretch down the outside of the leg. All right, if we're doing sun or moon, let's do 2 more here. And then we'll all meet in our 5-pointed star, expanding up and out with our inhale. Exhaling, drawing hands down through heart center, and we'll step back towards the top of the mat. Coming into standing, let's do our standing chest expansion. Lots of options here. We did our thumbs up and then back earlier. We may like to just stay here. And sometimes if you see like me, I'm like, oh, something feels stuck. I need to reset, sweep through a couple times to land in this position. We may like to stay here for our chest expansion today. We might want to check back in with breathing, feeling that our ribs are expanding front, side, and back, and our core muscles are still holding us here. And our core muscles hold us tall without slumping. So if we want to go further into our back bend and our chest expansion, we can reach palm to palm and behind. We're lifting our hearts. We may be taking our chin up. We could check that little letter L between collarbones and chin. Give us a safe stopping point for our back extension. We may like to interlace our hands or have our hands on the back of the glutes or thighs for support here. Coming back through center. And releasing to mountain. Tree pose. Coming into tree pose, turning one foot out. Opening the inner thigh of one leg as we're using the outer hip muscles to rotate open. What kind of tree are we today? Do we have our branches out to a T? Up like we're holding a giant beach ball? Are we a cactus instead of a tree? Let's inhale up overhead and then slow, gentle exhale, drawing down through heart center. Maybe our abs feel a little bit different after that stuff that we did. Tree pose on the second side. Coming to balance, opening up. Steady body, steady mind, steady breath. Our eyes may help us here. So if we've heard this before, pick a spot on the floor or on the wall ahead to help us stay standing. And this is our cool down. So if we've been feeling kind of heated and active, really tight through our core, we might notice that our tree pose is helping us to release some of that tension in our bodies, and that's fantastic. Might be more mental, that we feel we're mentally becoming less stimulated by movement. Fantastic. Let's inhale, arms up and out. And then we'll bring ourselves down through center. And something happened. Somebody dropped off. There we go. Coming to stand at the top of our mat. Swan diving to our mats. Sitting back into child's or down dog, yogi's choice. Maybe we're inviting a little movement in again. So if we're in child's, it can feel nice to shake the hips off side to side. If our foreheads can reach the mat, turning the head side to side, getting a forehead massage. If we're in downward dog and we're really craving a more intense hamstring stretch, we can walk our feet in 1 foot length ahead, settling our heels down and back. And that might feel really nice in the back of the legs, the calves, the ankles, something like that. If we feel that it throws us out of alignment and we're really hunched in here, of course, we don't have to do that. And to make our way to a seated position, we're dropping knees. If we're in down dog, we're sitting to one hip and we're swinging our legs around to the front of the mat. Let's come into butterfly here. From staff, maybe just 2 fingers to draw one leg in and then the other. So we know we're not going too far. We may like to lift the knees to help us feel more active in the pose. And then using our sinking breath to lower down. So our sinking breath encourages body to come deeper into the pose, closer to the center of the earth. We can release some of our core stability now. With our inhale, belly feeling softer. With our exhale, seeing if we can feel heavy, releasing further. Instead of pushing our bodies into the pose, let's see if we can just have ourselves set up, and then our exhale feels like an invitation, allowing ourselves to be in the pose. Instead of doing, we're simply being. We use some core strength to pull ourselves back to a tall seated position, and we may like to use our hands to gather our knees up or in behind to act as a second and third spine, and we'll make our way down to lie on our backs. So let's be careful, we're not going to whack anything behind us. From staff, we're drawing one leg in to counterbalance our body weight, And then we can ease ourselves down and back onto the mat. Once we arrive all the way down there, let's see if there's any movement that we're feeling called to do. So often people like to windshield wipe the legs very gently, side to side. I always like to do a long stretch, reaching in opposite directions. And then let's all meet in knees to chest to make our way into dead bug. So from knees to chest, just like our chair pose, ankles, knees, and hips are in line. And that's actually why we do dead bug in this manual, because everything is in alignment. We can take our 2 peace fingers to our toes, tapping off the toe with our thumb, applying even pressure, drawing down and kicking away. If it just feels so far, or for me, I like to have my shoulders just loose on the mat. Then maybe we're holding the back of the thighs. And we may prefer more of a happy baby variation where our legs come wide. So we can let our knees come open. We might even like a wide-legged knees to chest, like super lazy while we're here, letting gravity do the work. We're just breathing, we're chilling. It's perfect. If we want a bit more intensity, instead of having our legs as a kickstand under our outer thighs and knees to chest variation, we can do like our moonflowers, our sumo squat, taking our feet wide. We still may like big toe yogi hold to our big toes, or maybe we're holding our ankles or the backs of the thighs again. And again, we can soften our bellies, relax our pelvic floor, having minimal effort here from the upper body to have us execute this pose. One more sinking breath. Releasing back to knees to chest. And then we might like to release. So after doing that tight pose curled in, option to drop our feet, plant our feet for bridge pose. Again, pressing down through the back of the shoulders, back of the arms. We may be walking our shoulder blades underneath our backs to lengthen the back of the neck. And we can lift into bridge pose to feel more length through the front of the hip. At this point, maybe hands are helping support us a bit easier through this hip stretch. And then as we're ready to lower down, seeing if there's some final movement that we'd like to do. So some of us might like to do one more twist. And windshield wipe the legs, long stretch. If we're looking for a gentler variation of our twist, from our feet planted, we can shift our hips to the right and then let our knees stack to the left. Gently hanging out here. Our left hand can be on top of the right knee, outer thigh, or can be between the knees to give a bit more cushion and help us with our alignment. And we may be turning the head to look past our right shoulder or underarm. We did some energetic breath, encouraging expansion of our ribs. We may be feeling that here again. Tiny bit of core control to bring us back through center. And we're moving to the other side. From our bridge prep, or like we're doing crunches, shifting our hips to the left, letting our knees stack to the right. Right hand can be in a fist between our knees or on top of the outer thigh. Our left arm may be reaching out like a T position or anywhere else that's comfortable. And we may be turning the head to look towards the left. When we feel that we've done enough movement, we are ready to move into final relaxation. Let's give ourselves permission to relax. So generally, our final relaxation, almost like a starfish, we're opening out. We again may like to bring hands to belly to be more aware of our 3-part breath, our belly breathing, relaxing our abdominal muscles here. And then sometimes supine relaxation is not comfortable, so we can come to lie on one side or anything else that does feel like relaxation, right? We call it final relaxation, not final discomfort. Moving into relaxation. All right, let's tell our core muscles, hey, you worked really hard. Softening now. Coming back to our 3-part breath with our inhale, filling our lungs deep into the lowest part of our lungs, imagining that we're breathing right down into the base of the pelvis. Pelvic floor muscles relax. So if we're thinking about the term that we call it root lock or belly lock, we're unlocking it now. It's open, it's released. The breath can freely flow through. Maybe we like to add our sinking breath here as well. Inhaling, we're feeling light and lifted. Exhaling, feeling some heaviness coming into the body. So we don't need to hold ourselves here in final relaxation. We're sinking further into the mat. Our mat's holding us up, the floor holding us up, the earth itself holding us up. Our next exhale, our shoulders get heavier, press into the mat more. Our next exhale, the entire upper body, heavy, releasing into the mat, sinking more with each exhale. Bringing our awareness to the back of the pelvis, exhaling, feeling supported from beneath, heavy with the exhale. The entire lower body, our next exhale, all parts of the body that are pressing into the mat, letting them become heavier, pressing more firmly into the mat. Imagining that our muscles are relaxing, pulling away from the bone. Back of the head, heavy. Our next exhale, it rests more into the mat. Noticing all parts of the body that are pressing into the mat. Again, exhaling, allowing all parts of the body that are touching the surface beneath you to get a little heavier, feeling a little more supported, a little bit more held from below. Drawing attention now to our inhale. Can we allow our inhale to be deeper and longer? Stretching out the inhale, stretching out the exhale. Using our awareness of our inhale to bring a feeling of lightness into the body, feeling lifted. Allowing our inhale to become more energized. It's almost time to come back up to seated. Encouraging our inhale to become fuller. Maybe we are sighing out through the mouth. And then as we're ready to do so, rolling to one side. Giving ourselves a little pat on the back for all the hard work that we have done here today. Enjoying this moment of rest. And then let's press ourselves up to finish together. Option to keep the eyes closed as we come into our tall seated position. Sitting comfortably, whatever that means to you. Aligning our spines. Can we bring a smile to our faces? Bringing hands to heart. Acknowledging all the hard work and effort that it took to carve out this time to be here this weekend. Acknowledging all the hard work that it took to make it through this day. And noting in yourself where you feel you've had some serious development during our time together. Choosing a word or even a handful of words to describe how we're feeling right now. Let's circle sweep arms to the sky, resetting with one round of breath, bringing hands back to heart center. Thank you so much for being here with all of us today. From my light to yours, namaste.